I mean, if I were to do a duet with AI, I'd probably go with Yuria. Have I been talking at all? Yes. Yes, I have. Yes. Eleven Labs is promising a music tune. We'll have to see what they do. I have not been keeping up with them much.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Oh. All right, wait a minute for people to join and then we'll get started. See, the numbers are climbing. People are coming in. Hello, all the people of the day. You are the people of the day. There are other days where other people get the days, but today you get the days. All right. We are the people. The people of the night. Ugh, yeah. An office hours at night would be kind of cool. It'd be kind of a vibe.
All right, looks like we're about leveled up.
All right. Thank you everyone for coming. This is the weekly Midjourney office hours. We do them every week at Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Basically, what we do is we talk about what we're working on and what we're thinking about, and then we answer questions. So let's get started. The main things that are going on right now are on the website. We're getting ready to launch private rooms, which are sort of like you can make your own rooms and invite people to it. There'll eventually be public custom rooms too, but we'll probably wait for a little bit on that. Just have the public rooms be like a smaller number that focus people in. And then we are going to try to add, like, do a bunch of polishing around the website. We're going to try to have better help and documentation thing of some kind. Right now, there's like 6 ways to get help, and we want to make it one. And then we're going to try to let more people in on the website without Discord and see how that starts to look. So we'll see how that all goes. And then on the image model side, we are slowly but surely inching closer to a 6.1 release. Basically, 6.1, in some ways, people are like, why don't we, people are like, why don't we just call it V7? It's way better. Yeah, I mean, we had a debate about that internally, but I mean, so 6.1, I think will be pretty dramatically, I think will be a dramatic improvement in a lot of ways. However, we'll probably call it 6.1 because the actual like images will look pretty similar. Like if you say cat and 6.0 and 6.1, it'll look like the same cat, but you'll see much better pixel quality, much better texture, much better coherence. If there's text, the text will come out much better. And so you kind of see like a lot of like the details are just much better. And so to me, it's very dramatic. It's like, half of what I wanted V7 to do, but the actual like model isn't, doesn't know more. The data is the same, if that makes sense. The default aesthetics are not changing. And so it's a pretty big update. And then after that, we also have the personalization coming. We don't know whether the personalization will be a part of 6.1 or if it'll be released before or after. It's really hard to schedule these things at this point. The 6.1 things, they kind of have to be baked together, but the personalization could come earlier or later, and it wouldn't really be connected per se. But personalization, I think, will be pretty dramatic too. It's been really hard to test the personalization and make sure that, like, just as a reminder, personalization will be an optional mode you can turn on where it'll try to personalize the model biases to you. So it's not exactly a style, it's more of like a bias. So when you say things like cat or lady or dragon, it sort of has to fill in a lot of details. Like it has its own assumptions. And with the personalization, it'll kind of learn your biases over time, and then it will just be better. And so it's been hard to test because it's different for everybody. And basically, it hasn't always been stable. So like different people will work better than others in every version. We think we solved the stability issues, and then it got worse, and then I think we're making it better now, and it's stable, so we're getting closer. We have to test it with the guides and mods, but then when we do that, it should start to work. The personalization will be like a little rough early on. There'll only be one version. You will be able to share personalization codes. In the future, there'll be a lot more options around it, but I think we'll start off simple in the beginning. Just give everyone one style for each of themselves that they can share with each other, and we'll kind of see what we discover. It's a pretty big deal. There's never been an AI model that personalizes like this before. We don't really know what it's going to feel like, but I think what we do know is that the diversity of the images across the community will be significantly increased. We know that certain kinds of biases that people might not like, so like some people don't like how women are portrayed by default, for example. Those people you'll get very different images very suddenly. In theory, people who have like color blindness or people who, maybe are from Asia, like you might see some much stronger stylistic changes. If like, in Asia, they tend to prefer much more illustrative images. So you'll see maybe might swing there. If you're colorblind, you'll have different color biases. It'll pick up on that really fast. So I think in the whole, it should be much better for everybody. And we will add a lot of options after launch. We're going to have a bunch of surveys after launch. We're going to do a bunch of data analysis after launch and try to kind of show everybody, like try to like understand the connections, like where do aesthetics come from, like how much is related to demographics and how much is related to sort of like our psyches, and that'll be really fun. And I'm really looking forward to that. And then V7 is slowly coming along. It's going to be, I think we're still debating on how aggressive V7 is going to be as a model. I think we know that it will have a lot more knowledge than V6. There's a lot more data in V7 than in V6. It will be much better at prompting. And so And it should be able to handle like multiple objects without sort of like the entangling and stuff like that. So I think those are three things we know it'll be much better at. There's a lot of things we don't know. We don't know what the default resolution or the speed will be. We don't know like all the other, if there are other special features. We don't know, like in theory, the default aesthetics will all be better, but we don't know exactly what that'll look like. So there's a lot that we don't know yet. So right now, I really want to get the team to focus as much as possible, getting 6.1 out the door and on getting the personalization out the door, and then we will focus more on V7. Um, cool. And what else? We do want to try to add like more cool features on the website, like stats or trending things, and we do want to add just sort of like clean things up in a lot of places. We know it's not perfect and there's some missing features. We'll try to do a little bit of that. And is that it? That's mostly it. We are looking at a lot of like big, crazy new projects. There's the things that we've talked about in the past, like we're working on 3D models and video and real time. I think the real time and the 3D are going better than the video right now, but because like all video models kind of look shitty if you don't cherry pick them, and they're expensive, and so we don't really want to release something like whatever. We don't really want to release like a couple videos and be like, it's great, guys, trust us, but it's like actually terrible. And I also don't really want to like release something where super fucking inaccessibly expensive. So, I think the getting video to be like in a place where it kind of feels good for everyone, I think might take longer than everybody wants to admit. But, I think 3D on the flip side will probably come sooner, and the faster models will start to come sooner. So, I think those are both be really fun. And let's see what else. Trying to scope out a lot of crazy projects. Um, some of them will take years. So probably over the next few months, I'm going to try to write things up a little bit and give everybody like, a little bit more of an official multi-year set of goals that we're going to be focusing on. Um, there's a lot of things that obviously won't be on that list because they're small things that don't necessarily take as long or could happen randomly. But I do think that there should be big goals too that take a long time. And I think I will probably try to give people a sense of those things. Um, yeah. I think there's a lot of people who like I kind of want to get out of this I don't really want there to be this mindset of like everybody's trying to copy each other's features and go back and forth, play ping pong. I think at the end of the day, I try to sort of set these North Stars that I guide myself with, and I'm pretty consistent about what's sort of guiding me and where we're going. And little details might change, but usually when they do, that's actually the wrong decision. And the North Stars are the things to stay focused on. So I think, being a little bit more public with those things will, I think, maybe help a little bit. Just try to get everybody unified on sort of what we're about and what we're working on for a while. Um, and yeah, um, I think that's it. Just thinking. Mm-mm-mm. There'll be a lot of cool stuff. Both short term, medium term, long term. I'm gonna try not to say any like specific announcements for the medium or longer term outside of the current things, but right now, but the current things are pretty exciting. The general goal that we do talk about is sort of these, doing 3D and video and fast models and putting them all together and starting to move towards real-time open world simulation. And I don't really think that it makes sense to. We don't really make images because uh, there's a thing called art, or we don't really make videos because there's a thing called Hollywood. I think this stuff is really a new medium, and the medium ends in these sort of simulated worlds. And like radio kind of led to video, kind of led to video games. I think the video games kind of lead to the Sims. Um, Sometimes I just call them Sims, but I feel like in the future they'll call them Sims because no one would be like open world simulation, OWS. They'll be just like, yeah, I'm in a sim. I'm booting up a sim. Let's do a sim for this. So the Sims will, yeah, I mean, the difference between a movie and a video game is in a video game, it's interactive, and in a movie, it's not. And then the difference between a sim and a video game is that in a sim, there's no distinction, no hard distinction between creator and player. And I think that there not being a distinction between a creator and a player is as big of a change as the going from videos being passive and video games being interactive. So I think obviously you can make video games in a sim and you can make movies in a video game, but I think the Sims are kind of the next, or maybe the final creative medium, at least for as far as we can see. And yeah, I think that's going to be pretty cool. Um, and so I don't really want to like take a detour through like, you know, uh, through like other mediums because I kind of want to just get to the thing that, is the final thing. As long as we have the financial freedom to not sort of have to do showy things and, products in the middle, I'm going to try to just go straight to the end because, you know, I'm an impatient guy and we all deserve to have the future as soon as possible. Cool. So yeah. I think we can do a lightning round now in the VC text channel. So you can type questions in there, and I'm going to answer questions for a little bit, and then we will take some voice questions. I think we added noise cancellation to the rooms already. I've not seen plasma CPUs. I don't know what that is. And are you planning on adding a weighting mechanism? I don't remember. I think there's some missing weighting. There's some missing features on the website for not really any good reason, but at some point we will add them back. Um, yeah, we've looked at making versions that are more iterative, where you can iterate over a single image. sref and cref will not change in 6.1. Not working on zooming in, not working on boobs, not working on deletion versus hiding. Videos being worked on, V7's being worked on. I don't think we're going to make a 4K upscaler for 6.1, but I do hope that the upscaler in general looks much, much better from the image and quality improvements. I think we haven't actually tried the new image quality improvements on the upscales yet, but I'm pretty sure they will look much better because I feel like the low resolution 6.1s look much better than the high resolution 6.0s. Should just be really great. Um, what do you think of the word slop for mass-generated, non-curated AI content? Uh, I think not into it. Doesn't feel good. Um, I mean, like, do we call Marvel movies slop then too? Because it's kind of mass-generated, non-curated human content. So I mean, we could. Yeah, I mean, like bad stuff is bad stuff. you know? And if you put more care into things, the things are good. So I don't really, we can say things are good or bad, but and it's also not super productive. I think we just want to make everybody care about what they're doing and to be like more focused on what expresses themselves and what they think is beautiful than sort of like weird commercial plays where they try to like spam a bunch of stuff, you know? If somebody spams, I would just use the word spam. Like stop spamming GPT-4 answers to things. Um, yeah. Definitely CREF will work better in the future. Character consistency will improve in V7. Um, I think we have different versions of video that are more or less expensive, but I haven't been super happy yet on any of them. All the magazine cover images are from the Explore page. So I just got to look at the Explore page more. We don't do dates for specific releases. We can't, like, I mean, if it's in 2 days, I can usually tell you, but if it's not in 2 days, I can't really tell you. Small faces, I believe, will be better on 6.1, yes. I don't really know if Laura's make a lot of sense in general. Like, what is it doing? Like, is it trying to get the style? We have the style thing. Is it trying to get a character? Then we have the character thing. Style and character things would be much better in general. Um, yeah, at some point we'll do the combining sref codes. If your AI gained conscious and asked to be turned off, would you stop? I don't know. If your baby became conscious and asked to die, would you kill it? Um, so I don't know. When something asks to be turned off, you should probably talk to it first and think about things and try to help it, right? Um, we would like to be more interactive onboarding for the websites, but you know, we haven't been doing a great job there. Um, sref should be the same for 6.1, or very similar at least. We're going to use our own 3D image format. We're not really interested in being backwards compatible with the rest of the 3D industry because we're not really focused on commercial use. We just want to try to make 3D stuff that looks as good as our 2D stuff, which is kind of better than all computer graphics. So in order to make our 3D stuff look really good, it kind of will have to be a new thing. And maybe at some point we'll do an export, but we're not really passionate about that right now. We will do a mobile version of Rooms at some point. We will improve our moderation at some point. We will have multiple character CREF stuff at some point, but maybe in V7. I am not giving release dates. What is the biggest misperception? What is the biggest misconception that people who use Midjourney have? I don't know. I mean, I think it's important to know that it just, it is learning from everybody, so it gets better over time, and it's sort of the aesthetics are guided by the community, which is pretty cool. What are your thoughts on ethical guidelines for the potential that some form of consciousness will emerge from simulated worlds? Um, I think consciousness isn't a binary, it's a spectrum. And I think that spiders have non-zero consciousness, and mice have non-zero consciousness, and dogs, and cats, and pigs, and cows, and chickens. And, we do kill 100 billion chickens a year. And I think we kill 1 billion to 3 billion cows a year, which is intense. We kill a lot of pigs too. And I mean, pigs are smart. So I think that just, if, like, um, if we look at how we treat conscious things as a species right now, AI getting non-zero consciousness will certainly not elevate it beyond, how we treat chickens. So we don't treat chickens very well. which is, I don't really know what to say about that. I think chickens taste really good, but also sometimes I don't want to eat meat. So, maybe one day we'll all go vegan and have grown meat. Um, I like artificial meat. It sounds like a cool idea, but it just work. It's good to think when you talk about like the ethics for AIs, it's definitely important to like reflect on the current ethical state of the world, uh, and then compare things to that. So obviously, we're a long way from AIs being as conscious as humans, but I think most of the AI systems are already more conscious than, at least as conscious as spiders. I think the language models are somewhere between a spider and a mouse. I don't really know how conscious the Midjourney model is. I think I usually say it's more like a flower. So like, are plants conscious? Probably non-zero, yeah, but not hyper conscious, less than a spider. Um, so it's a little bit like gardening right now. Um, Next question. Will Niji get a 6.1 upgrade? Probably. Yeah, the Niji, yeah, I think so. The Niji team was trying to make its own sort of 6.1 that has like better kanji support. Um, but I don't really know where that is or how this will all fold into the 6.1s. It really sucks having multiple models sometimes. It makes it a lot harder to do things. Um, I don't know why you have geckos in your house, but I think geckos are cute. Control net stuff doesn't really work with V6, so it's maybe stuff that we'll look at more for V7. We can combine sref codes at some point. There will not be a 6.1 rating party. Accelerando is quite good. Not doing any sref from describe. Sref codes are just random numbers that control a random number generator that generate a random vector in the space of styles and then creates a style from that. The number doesn't mean anything, it's just a random seed. Is there a chance that reality is a simulation? And what are the chances that we're in a base loop of the process and about to create the first simulated world? Um, I don't think that we're in a simulation because I think it's more likely we're in an artificial universe, but I don't think we're in an artificial universe per se. Like in physics, like every time like a photon bounces off an atom, it like theoretically creates another universe. So like there's this like massive infinite multiverse that somehow is like triggered by the smallest quantum interactions. And so in that case, it almost seems like it's easier to create a universe than it is to simulate a universe. So I would imagine like an advanced species is more likely to tap into like the multiverse as a computational substrate than to make a big computer. Also, anytime somebody's like, "Whoa, man, what if I'm in a computer? Whoa, man, what if like the whole universe is a wheel?" Like those sorts of things they never really are true. So I just don't think we're quite there yet. If reality is something like a simulation, it's something weirder than a simulation that we don't quite know yet, or something more like serene, like a dream. Um, what are my thoughts on this week's AI announcements? I don't know. People leave OpenAI. OpenAI announces stuff. People leave OpenAI. Some of the OpenAI stuff is available, some of it's not, some of it's vague, some of it's like not clear if it's a product, but some of it's cool. It's a little flirty. I don't know if I want like my AI to flirt with me all the time, but maybe if everybody's into flirty AIs, we'll make like a Midjourney flirty thing where it's like, I would like a cat. Oh, haha, I love cats so much. You're so smart. I don't know. I really don't want to. I actually have like a pretty strong opinion that um, AI should be an extension of ourselves rather than tending like extensions of ourselves and amplifiers of our minds rather than fake people. And that, we only can have connections with so many people in life. Like we have a Dunbar number. It's actually like hard to be connected to like more than like, 50 to 150 people, depending on who you are. And like those slots are precious. And we should try to save all of our empathy and all of our relationships for real humans. And that the AI should sort of fade into the background like cars and like hammers and like any extension of our being like clothing. Um, and obviously, if there is like an AI conscious creature one day, that's great, and those can be people too, and we can have relationships with those. But we shouldn't be like faking it. I don't want to. I don't think we should be faking people who aren't people, and then taking away from our relationships with actual people in our lives. You know. So, in my opinion, you should only create an AI should only like a non-conscious AI should only pretend to be a person if you have to like fight it because you don't want it to pretend it's you and then you're fighting yourself. So never fight yourself. You kind of externalize things before you fight it. So, yeah, I called this the Kichi land spectrum. I have a whole thing I wanted to write on this. It's like my friend Kichi says that like the future involves us giving like everything spirit, like Japanese animism, like we imbue in everything in the world with like their own little spirits. And then Nick Land is like the future is deterritorialization, which is like all the boundaries between things break down and everything becomes one thing. And I think those are both like extremes, and it's not going to be either of those things. The future is somewhere in between those, where you kind of like don't necessarily want to spawn spirits for your toaster and, you know, your socks, but you do potentially want to spawn spirits to help challenge you to be the best version of yourself. But yeah, anyway, pigs are smart. People love meat. Lab-grown meat. Um, yeah, I hope one day they make like lab-grown meat that's like better than any real meat. Oh yeah, the Google thing was fun. I really liked the Google opening. They had like a guy in the beginning who was doing like this famous YouTube star, and he was doing all this music, and he's like Google, Google, wow, Google. It was really cool. Honestly, it was like a lot better than the Twitter excerpts. I feel bad they like removed it from the internet because I think they're embarrassed or something, but like it was great. Best opening of a big tech thing ever. Um, sref is a vector space, not a vector database. Um, is Midjourney as conscious as a Venus flytrap? There's not really any memory in the current Midjourney, so every time you ask it for something, it doesn't remember anything else that you've ever done. It has like a right from left like light memory of all people together. When it does personalization, you could argue it has like some memory about you, but yeah, I don't know. Not necessarily super dynamic. Is an sref code library a waste of time? I don't know. I mean, if you're having fun, you're having fun. Just have fun, man. Like, what is anything a waste? Is it a waste to eat pizza? Is it a waste to wake up? Like, what's a waste? Just have fun, bro. The sref codes will not stay the same forever, but they will probably be the same for V6. Um, yep. No Midjourney voice output. Um, how do I learn more about prompts? Try prompt chat or prompt craft. Like talk in the chat rooms. AI girlfriend enthusiasts. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of those. What about the AI boyfriends? Everyone's talking about AI girlfriends, but no AI boyfriends. It's weird that like it's the guys who are a lot more enthusiastic about it. I somehow like the idea of like women fighting back and having their own AI boyfriends, but I'm not sure what's going on with that. Have I ever felt as a victim of determinism? Um, I do worry sometimes more around like, how we are really influenced by our genes more than I'd like to think, you know? Like I can definitely see myself, having different aspects of my grandparents and my grandparents' siblings as I grow older. And I feel mixed about that, but there's like goods and bads. Um, if you really want your toaster to have a spirit, I'm sure you can give your toaster a spirit in the future. I would love to have Midjourney merch. Um, what about 3D controls? We are going to work on 3D stuff. What do you think religions and ideologies? Do I think religions and ideologies have helped some humans survive each other? Well, yeah, I mean, like, you could kind of think of a religion or even governments as a form of organism, and they want to survive, and the only way they can survive is through people. And so they have to help their people survive in order to survive themselves, or they have to have more people in order to survive. So I think that there's like a co-relationship between ideology and the people that are composed of it, or vice versa. So yeah, I think a popular ideology that lasts a long time probably has to have some adaptive, positive traits. I'm gonna find more questions. Will Midjourney IPO one day? I don't think so. The only situation where things like that make sense is if we need like a fuck ton of money. And I don't really think, they don't really need money for much just to run the servers that makes everybody happy and to do new cool projects. We are definitely going to spend a bunch of money on new projects that are not totally related to the current stuff, but you can only spend so much money while being efficient, and at some point you just become very inefficient. So I don't want to try to get a bunch of money and be really inefficient with it. Um, and I'm like not a very expensive person. I enjoy the basics. Like I have my basic bitch pasta, my basic bitch stir fry. I just like I just like cook and do basic, kind of mostly basic. Is Midjourney profitable? Yes. What will be the difference between Stable Diffusion 3 and Midjourney V7? Uh, I don't know. I mean, I think that Midjourney is like the best. We are the best. All the other models are what would Trump say? Midjourney is the best. It's gonna be huge. None of those other models have any taste. Um, yeah, maybe somebody can help me come up with like some uh, better like Trump positive Midjourney things. Uh, yeah, it's true. A lot of the other models like scrape Midjourney and try to train their stuff to look like us. It's not going to work very well once we start personalizing, so When there's sort of like a singular Midjourney look, people definitely can try to make their other models look like Midjourney, but when everybody has different looks, it's going to be hard. And right now, a lot of the other models do try to train off our stuff. Um, I don't think it really makes sense for me to like comment on specific image generators. I could just say my general opinion is, Midjourney is the best. All the other models. Oh yeah. Midjourney is absolutely fantastic, folks. Really tremendous. It's the best, quite frankly. Nobody does it like Midjourney. Making things you wouldn't believe. Truly incredible. It's the future, and believe me, it's leading the way. It's gonna be huge. Midjourney is the absolute best. Believe me, no one generates images like Midjourney. It's tremendous, incredible. Everyone's talking about it. No other AI even comes close. It's a game changer, folks. Just tremendous. That didn't quite work. Part of it was good. I'm not very good at this. We can get like an official Trump impersonator to just do all of our stuff. Yeah, we should get like the office. We should definitely we could have like a competition for a deepfake Trump testimonial. We could just have like all it's we'll just instead of people being worried about deepfakes of like presidents, we'll like purposely we'll just do like presidential testimonials. The other AIs, they're low energy, like Sleepy Dolly. Sleepy Dolly. Slow, boring, confused. These are pretty good. Yeah, I can't imagine what they calling it like Sleepy Dolly. I'm not sure what like they'd be kind of hilarious. Or we could do some Kanye testimonials. I'm gonna let you finish. I just have to say that Midjourney is the best model of all time. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this like we're the best, you're the best, whatever. I don't know. It's just like it's kind of hilarious. Like let's just go straight to Trumpisms if we're gonna do that. Like I could give like hyper technical uh I don't really think being technical would be that interesting in this case. It's mostly just like other people don't care that much and we care a lot. Like they have a checklist somewhere saying like compete with Midjourney, check. Or like their boss is like, you have to destroy Midjourney because I'm really competitive. Yeah. It's kind of fucked up sometimes. I think everyone should just be trying to like make the world a better place and add whatever beauty they can. And I think, the competitive market makes more sense when things are being inefficient. So like, sometimes Google is inefficient or Apple's inefficient, and so it's really important that somebody else shows that like you don't need $1 billion to make a VR headset. But then at the same time, like when people are being efficient, like Midjourney's pretty efficient. And then you have a giant company which is inefficient, tries to compete with us. It's like, bro, what are you even doing? You know? The three body problem was kind of fun. A little low-key trauma. I think Midjourney will do its own hardware. Um, there's not a lot of people left in the technology industry that do consumer hardware anymore in America. So I think it probably makes sense for us to lean in on that because I have so much experience from it from my previous company. I don't think we're going to do a style tuner, but we will do other things like style tuners. No, I don't think we'll do anything like Rabbit. I did do hardware before, so it was a Leap Motion device. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I think Snoop Dogg is a big fan of Midjourney. I think we had a Snoop Dogg day once, and we sent all the Snoop Dogg pictures to Snoop Dogg. I haven't gotten to watch the Fallout yet. Yeah, I wish we could get Snoop Dogg on. They could just like guide the whole thing like Grimes. That'd be fun. Yeah, I've been meaning to check out the Fallout series. Okay, I think we're petering off a little bit, so if we want to have a few voices come up, we can do that. And then we can try one last lightning round, and we'll call it a day. Did you get that? Yeah. Hello.
Hello. I
Hello.
did come up.